elves have gained an understanding of the Salakar's true use. My future may depend on it. Ragnarök is inevitable. To avoid it, impossible. But if there's one thing I know, impossible is impossible.
Oh, you're back.
Sinmar's plans lie in ruins.
I just hope you know what you're doing.
Surely I should be asking that of you. Now, tell me, what does it do?
I ain't got a clue. These light elves and they're sneaky.
You've learned nothing?
Whatever its use, the power it contains. It holds more than what you said.
Such as?
Well, for a start, there's a bloody dwarf in there.
Anyone we know?
Nah, and it's not important. Dwarf Hugers don't carry much weight. Not even mine.
So, what does it contain?
All I know is that it's more than Malvigur, Kaldr, and some dwarf no one cares about.
Fine. In the stories, what was the actual point of the Salakars?
Hugers were what vitalized them. But it was the magic that gave them their purpose. And that magic was different to each one.
Magic? You mean Seda?
Nah, some elf shit no one knows anymore.
Except Sutra.
That fire nymph? She sent word.
And?
Your plan worked. Sinmar's ready to barter, if it means getting you out of the way.
Where?
At the bridge leading to Feygarda. Light the beacon, and she'll come out with your lad.
The power that the Salakar holds. It must not fall into Surtur's grasp.
Nah, I'll reclaim it once Baldur is safe.
Last night I saw that armor move. All by itself.
Retaking the Salakar won't be easy. I may have to release Loki and ask for his aid. His talent for theft is unmatched. What I have done to him, and him to me. Once I have rescued Baldur, we will be even. Loki will see that. I must announce my arrival.
You bring that which is Sutter's.
Give me what is mine, and I will hand over what is his.
Come midway.
Baldur, I got you. I got you. Get inside. close for the illusion to have worked.
Escape, you little dog! Follow my lead!
There's behind one of these doors. Locked cells. I must find the proper keys. Truly, Calder, truly, you dare to torture my own flesh and blood. If only I could bring you back from the dead and kill you all over again. This blood trail. Whoever was dragged here was badly wounded. Yet he was strong. It took at least 4 jailers to hold him. It is written in Baldur's hand. No light, but only darkness visible. Revealing sights of woe. Realms of endless agony. This hopelessness, it is not the Baldur I know. No matter his pain and turmoil. There, beyond that door lies the dark heart of the prison. And my son. A stout door marked with a skull. Where is the key, I wonder? Key bearing a skull. That is what I need to access the chamber beyond.
The High One, brought low. Mistletoe, symbol of hope, renewal. But not for Baldur. We forced so many drafts down his gullet. His torment was quite beautiful. Blind fool. You never saw what was in front of you. Here is your child. His light gone before you even set foot here. And the rest of him? It now skulks in Helheim. Allow me to reunite you with your boy. No! Traitor. You were never worth my effort. I've seen dwarves with better stature. Take care of it. Damn you, Asa! I remember how Krieg saw hearted beneath my blade.
Please keep our wet among us.
I remember how Krieg saw flesh hearted beneath my blade.
Finally! The hero of Asgard. But you are an imposter. Heart as black as tar. Savage. Monstrous. You've locked that truth away. Built a code to act as its jailer. But the darkness cannot be kept hidden. It oozes out like pus from a wound, poisoning everything it touches. That is what it means to be Odin the Deceiver. I have you now. Cluck and scratch like an old man. What is it? What did you see?
All my struggles mattered nothing in the end. My son was lost before I began. His premonition come to pass.
Your son?
Balder! Harvey's son. You know what I mean.
So Baldur met his fate, as was foretold. Ever you have sought to elude the looms of the Nornir, but we are all caught in their weave.
No, I will not believe it. There's more to see yet. Why was I thrown from my dream?
Perhaps it was not the vision that rejected you, but you who rejected the vision. Perhaps you are afraid of it.
I fear nothing.
I think you do. And until you recognize that fear, give in to it, embrace it, the vision will not return. Some walls cannot be overcome by potions alone.
Tell me what I must do. This saga does not end here. It cannot.
Meet me in the forest when darkness lays upon the land. There we shall see how fearless you truly are.
These new visions of Odin trouble me. Am I alone in seeing them? Or do the tales of Svartalfheim hold some other meaning? Perhaps I should warm my bones by the fire. Gather my thoughts for a moment.
Nonsense! It is not that complicated.
You do not appreciate the subtleties of a cutting flight. That is why...
Tove, how have you been?
The fire made me think of the myths and legends Sven loved.
Would you indulge me with a tale? I would be glad to hear of Svartalfheim.
I would not tell it half as well, but his favorite was a fable, to remind us to find meaning in our deeds and not in how others think of us. Svartalfheim was not short of legendary dwarven blacksmiths. Everyone has heard of Ivaldi, of Brukker and Sindri. But this tale is of a stonemason. He lived as far south as he could, where Gulnamar meets Vangrid. His workshop sat upon the shoreline. Obsessed with glory, his love of masonry had all but died. He scoured the shore, seeking precious stones washed up from other realms. Then he saw it. Something beautiful, glittering, shimmering across the water, upon an island he had never dared travel to. He hastily built a boat, working long into the night. He set sail and found many rocks that sparkled and dazzled upon the island. He cried out in joy. To craft anything from such stones, he would be remembered for all time. Then he felt a sudden sting on his foot. then another, and another. His eyes adjusted to the dark. So consumed was he by his desire for renown, he failed to realize he had walked into a nest of snakes, until it was already too late. And so, clutching the stone that sealed his fate, there he died. Remembered, yes, but only for his folly.
A fine tale, Toby, and well told. Sven would be proud. Are you and Bridget well?
Of course. The flames soothe my mind, as do the tales told here.
You have one to share, Gunnar. A legend of Svartalfheim.
Aye, a story of a king who could not see the wood for the trees. Raidmar, greatest of dwarven kings. Within his palace in Gulnamar, he wanted for nothing except an heir. Raidmar and his wife had grown old. Perhaps too old. Late one night, consumed with worry, Raidmar walked in the shadow of his vast mountaintop palace, tears in his eyes. The great king! What ails you? A voice said. Afraid, Raidmar saw no one. Who goes there? He replied. Then he saw who addressed him. A vast and ancient tree, perhaps almost as old as Ymir himself. Raidmar sat upon its roots and told the tree he feared he was too old to give his subjects the legacy they deserved. The tree was so moved, it wept and offered its tears to Raidmar. Drink, great king, it said, and your woes shall be washed away. Raidmar observed the grass, the meadows, the leaves of the tree. His subjects' happiness could be seen in how they cared for the land. His legacy was all around him. Raidmar felt at ease, realizing he had everything he needed, and asked that the land receive the tree's gift instead. The tree's happy tears flowed evermore, enriching the land. 9 moons passed, and a baby's cry rang through Raidmar's palace. Long would dwarves place gifts in the weeping tree's roots, in memory of Raidmar and his kindness that shaped all he touched.
All things happen when they should, old friend.
I hope so.
Eivor! Whatever is the matter? Have you been spending too much time drinking Valga's special sauces again?
I'm troubled by visions of Odin and of Svartalfheim. They flood my mind without warning, without invitation.
Aha! Which is how Thor flooded Svartalfheim. Thor, fast to act, but not so fast to think, would stomp and thump and fight and bump everywhere he and Mjolnir should go. One day, he fought a giant in Jotunheim with such ferocity that Thor's killing blow was felt through all 9 realms. The ground shook, mountains rose up, hills tore apart, creating canyons, and north of Svaladal, the massive lake that housed the springs of Yggdrasil split open, flooding all of Svartalfheim. The dwarf king, Hreidmar, acted swiftly. He built 3 mighty dams, preventing further damage to his realm, working alongside his beloved subjects. So surprised was one builder to see the great king working as an equal, that he slipped, tumbling into the raging waters below. Without hesitation, Hreidmar leapt, once from his horse, and again from the center of the dam's lip, diving into the frightful torrent. Before the builder could even cry for help, Hreidmar was pulling him onto dry land. And so 2 giant statues were built to honor the king, one for each leap of unthinking bravery, and stood until the end of days.
Until Ragnarök.
Aye! So you see, actions ripple outward, like a stone falling into a lake. Or like Thor crushing a Jotun skull with Mjolnir.
Affecting everything, whether foretold or unknown.
I fear my tale has only worsened your concerns.
No, a good story is a log that feeds a mind's flame. Thank you, friend.
I hear you seek tales of Svartalfheim. You are not alone in your glimpses of the Aesir.
You have seen them too.
No. Only the power the visions hold, and their effect on those once held dear.
You speak of Sigurd.
Do you want my tale or not? There was a dwarven miner who cared only for his work. Mining was all he knew, all he wanted to know, and all he would ever know. One day, he heard a strange noise. All his long life, working in the northern mines of Vangrim, he had never known a boulder to squeak. He ignored it at first, but as the hours passed, the squeaking continued relentlessly. When the miner could take no more, he split the boulder apart with his pick, and then he saw a squirrel. Until now, pinned by the boulder, afraid and tired, the freed squirrel climbed into the miner's long beard and slept for 3 days. When the dwarf awoke the next day, he found fruit and nuts waiting for him. A gift from the squirrel. The first the miner had ever received. Finally, the miner had a friend. The squirrel led the dwarf to a stone hill within a lake. There, the dwarf could fish for supper, while the squirrel played in the trees. One night, watching his fishing line, the dwarf drifted off to sleep, smiling, enjoying the happy squeaks of his friend above. When the sun rose, its light did not find the dwarf, for he had turned to stone, his short-lived bliss captured evermore.
And the squirrel?
It never left his side, hoping his friend would awaken, just as the miner had waited for the squirrel to do the same.
Sigurd. He's not lost to us. In every great story, there's truth to be found. I wonder what could be found in Svartalfheim, the place they spoke of.